girls, it's Moshi as Karrot today. So in today's video, I'm going to be making Karrot's bodysuit. So I'm not going to keep you any longer, so let's just get right to it. Okay, so here I have a duct tape dummy of my body that my husband helped me make. I used a tutorial video from Sky High Studios. It's very detailed. I highly recommend it. I'm going to link it in the description. So I stuffed this duct tape dummy with polyfill so it can retain my body's shape. It makes it easier for tracing where I want to cut it out, and for, you know, just generally drawing on it what all the information that I need to put on it. I put the fur direction, I put the part of the body that pattern is from, the color of the fur I want it to be, you know, just things like that. If I want the fur to be cut short or to keep it long. And then I'm just going to cut it out. I only traced on one side because I'm going to cut these pattern pieces out, and then I'm just going to mirror them to get the other side, so that way they will be symmetrical. It'll look nicer because I didn't do that with my last bodysuit I made. I did not mirror the pieces, and it just didn't. It doesn't look as nice. It doesn't look symmetrical. So yeah, I'm just cutting these pieces out and making sure they can lay flat. Alright, so here I have my blue fur, and the only pieces that are blue on the bodysuit is the chest stomach area. And I'm going to trace it onto my blue fur, and also pay attention to fur direction. I almost traced it the wrong way, then I realized like halfway through it, and I flipped it around, and now I'm going to mirror it and trace it that way and add the seam allowance. And I'm going to cut it out in a rectangle piece because I'm going to shave these down, and it's easier to shave it in as a rectangle. And now I'm going to take my other pieces and start tracing them onto the orange fur. And I'm going to leave the orange fur long, so I'm just going to cut them out once I get the seam allowance drawn on there. So yeah, I just mirror the pieces so I can get the other side. If I remember right, this is arms. It's just one big piece. There'll be it'll just have one seam going down the under part of the arm. Alright, so here I have my fur cut out, and I'm going to give it a nice brush, get all those loose fibers out, and I'm ready to shave. So here I'm shaving the blue fur, but I highly recommend wearing a mask and some glasses, but honestly I would recommend goggles. I need to get some goggles because the fur fibers will fly up in the air and they can still get in your eyes, and you don't want that. So I would recommend getting some goggles to wear. But at least, bare minimum, you want a mask so you're not breathing in those tiny little fibers because they get everywhere. Making sure it's all nice and even, and even shave, and I brush it, and then I'm going to cut them out. So yeah, I do not add seam allowance around the darts. So I'm going to cut the dart out there. The dart will allow the material to have a curved shape to it once I sew it up. Brush them out. And here I'm taking the leg of my duct tape dummy. I stuck it into the fursuit foot, and I am taking some paper towel and masking tape and taping on a little bit of, making an extension of
fur that's going to go over the top of the fursuit foot, so it looks more like a smooth transition to cover up the top of the fursuit foot. So yeah, I want some orange fur to go over the top of the fursuit foot to hide the opening of the fursuit foot. I'm adding a little bit more here to get the shape that I want. And then I'm going to cut that out. And I cut out any of the duct tape dummy part that I didn't need. And then I'm going to flatten it out onto some paper and cut a dart to help flatten it out more. It's got to lay flat. Cut out my little darts, and this piece I had to cut in half because it would not lay flat at all, so I just cut it in 2 pieces, and now it will lay flat. And I trace that onto paper. The paper will be easier to work with. Once I get all my pieces traced out, I will cut them out of the paper. I'm sorry that my back is always in the way. I'm not the best at positioning the camera right, so yeah, I'm still learning how to actually film these tutorials. Hopefully I'll get better with that. So here, yeah, I'm cutting them out. This will be easier to work with than those other pieces. And here I am back with my orange fur, and I'm going to start tracing them out, adding the seam allowance, and as always paying attention to the fur direction, and then mirroring the pieces. I actually ran out of orange fur while doing these, tracing these pieces, and I had to like order more fur because the suit is just so much orange. So yeah, it took a lot more. I think I ordered like 3 yards. That is not enough. I think I ended up with like 5 yards. I haven't done the head as of this video now, but basically I had to order like 5 yards to do the feet, the hands, the bodysuit, and eventually the head. He's just so overwhelmingly orange. But I wanted to stick with a simple character for the sake of learning. That's where this Karrot character came about. Why Karrot looks like the way he does. Just very, very simple design because I just wanted to use him as a learning tool to build fursuits. So just stuck with a really simple design. My cat Gigi, she likes to lay on all my fur. Skittles does too, but I try to keep them off of it, but they're gonna get on it. So here, after I've cut them out, I'm gonna brush them out. Alright, so now I'm tracing the torso pieces. I had to cut it into 2 pieces to get it to fit on here on the orange fur. And then I just mirror those as well and add the seam allowance. Alright, so now I want to cut them out. So I'm sewing the darts here on all the pieces that have darts. Sewing all the pieces together that belong to the legs, brushing out the seams to, you know, make it look nice. It helps to hide the seam better when you brush it out. A lot of sewing, it's just a ton of sewing. So yeah, I'm just continuing to pin and sew until I have a leg piece. This is an arm piece, so yeah, it just wraps around into a tube, and it's just one seam from the armpit all the way down to the wrist. Brush out the seams and sew up the other one. Yeah, I bought this slicker brush from Fursuit Supplies. I really like it. So here I'm sewing up the dart on the chest part of the blue piece and cleaning the seam with my scissors. And then I'm going to pin the other one and sew it as well and clean out the seam. Do the same on the other. And I'm gonna, yeah, so I'm pinning and sewing the two sides of the leg together. Alright, so that is the leg, one leg, but it's not sewn all the way around as a tube. Alright, so I'm working on some torso pieces here. Alright, so here I am pinning the leg piece, so now it's one tube. And I'm doing the same for the other leg. And now I'm going to sew the one side of the chest piece, stomach chest piece, onto one side of the torso piece. Gotta go slow around this because this one's kind of an awkward shape. And I brush the seam out. And here I didn't show it, but I did sew the two torso pieces where it meets in the back, like straight down the middle of my back. I forgot to record sewing that up. So here I'm sewing on the zipper. I pinned it on and sewing that up, and now I'm brushing that out. I think what I'm working on here is the like top of my shoulder. Now I'm pinning the other side of the zipper onto the bodysuit. So yeah, it's gonna zip up and down from the middle in the front of my suit. So I'm sewing from the crotch up to the very bottom of the zipper, and then I'm gonna sew the zipper. I'm sure there's a better way of doing this, but this is just what I found. This is just what's the best way for me to do it. Brush all that out. Use a pen to clean up the seams. You can see that's the chest stomach piece. And now I'm going to work on pinning and sewing the arms onto the suit. Making sure that the seam is facing down and not, I want it to be under the arm when I'm sewing it onto the main body piece. Just slowly making my way around. And I do the same for the other side. Actually, this is me sewing the crotch pieces together from the front and the back. Sewing the front and back crotch pieces together. And now I'm sewing the legs onto the bottom of the hip part. Here I'm going to take a measuring tape to measure out the opening of the neck. I'm going to make a minky material trim, and I'm going to cut that out, and then I'm going to fold over the edges and sew them down so it has a nice clean edge. And as usual, I had trying to put this on the suit was such a pain. I struggled with it like I always do with trims. I don't know why. So yeah, I'm pinning it on, and I struggled with it, but I finally got it on there. It doesn't look great, but it's alright. It's enough. So I'm sewing that on. And here I cut some belt loop holes, and I'm taking some upholstery thread and a curved needle, and I'm going to sew all the way around the opening to using a loop stitch, and it should keep the material from stretching open anymore. keep the hole there without it ripping the hole bigger. And there you have it. There is a finished Fursuit bodysuit. So there it is with a Fursuit foot on. See how it goes over the opening, and then what it looks like without a Fursuit foot. It's just kind of a flared bottom. Yeah, like that. So yeah, it's supposed to go over the top. But there you go. Very simple design suit. I'll show him off when he's complete, like with the tail and everything, once I get everything made. Because I'm going to remake his head. But yeah, there it is. There's a bodysuit. It zips down the middle.
Alright, so there you have it. There's Karrot's bodysuit. I finally finished it. I struggled so hard to make it. I'm still learning, but this bodysuit is better than my last attempt, so I'm happy about that. So I just want to make clear that I am not a professional or anything. I'm still in the process of learning, but I'm having a lot of fun doing so. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned a lot. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye. See you later, alligator.